Hi guys, this is my last interview video with kind of last minute advice because I know some of you will have interviews in the next 3 days. So let's discuss topics that can potentially come up. In most computer science interviews there will definitely be some maths bits, so I would start with reviewing trigonometric identities, double angles, half angles and all that sort of stuff. Let's just politely ignore the fact that I can't spell identities. The next one is probably mechanics, revise your Suvat equations, things like projectile motion, maybe hinges and so on. Don't go too much into detail, you don't have time, just kind of to refresh your memory on that. The next one is Taylor and Maclaurin expansions or series. These guys are very useful, especially if you want to kind of expand something new and you need to be using the standard ones. You really don't want to be kind of deriving it all from scratch right in the interview. The basic ones like sine and cosine, it will definitely impress the interviewer. The other one that comes up literally everywhere is probably factorial. I've lately been seeing a lot of different brain teasers to do with factorials. Even in CSAT there was one question which I found pretty hard, to be honest. You have factorials everywhere in computer science and in probabilities and so on, so very useful. Google, maybe even memorize some of them. I'm mentioning this one and putting an asterisk to it because they will definitely not expect you to know what big O notation is, but if you do, maybe worth revising. Same goes for memory, DRAM, SRAM, I don't know, bits and bytes. If you know, well done. If you have no clue what those words are, don't bother, don't stress about it. So moving on to other computer sciencey topics, binary, I don't know, hexadecimal. It's very useful to memorize a lot of powers of 2 and know maybe how to convert from one numerical system to another. It is worth knowing what recursion and iteration are, maybe their differences. You definitely are not expected to know for loops and while loops and so on, but if you can actually write something in pseudocode that produces, I don't know, a factorial or a Fibonacci number, that would definitely be great. Okay, I should probably add 2 more, and I'm adding them because these are the topics that I've made videos on, so if you haven't yet, go and check them out. So things like plotting graphs and Boolean logic, these are the things that I had. Yes, it was 3 years ago, but you know, Cambridge is not a place that moves on pretty fast, so they must still be there. Moving from computer science points to some just generic advice that should apply really to any interview. It is your chance to show off your knowledge in just 1 hour. You have to realize how unrealistic this is. Add all the anxiety and all the weird things that always happen just on interview days. Yes, interviewers know about it and they will try to take it into account. Companies put so much money into researching how to conduct a proper interview. HR departments are trying to get the best candidates, and yes, it's true, some interviews are just conducted terribly and the questions that they're asking are not really stretching your knowledge and so on. Remember that your interviewers are also people, so they don't have to be super enthusiastic about meeting you. You might be the last person on the day they're speaking to, their dog might have died that morning, they might be very hungry, you never know. So try to smile and do your best, make a good impression from the start, and you know, after all, you can be the person who's making the interviewer feel nice, and then afterwards when they try to remember your one name out of 100 applicants, they'll be like, oh yeah, that person, we had a nice discussion. So think what kind of things can make you uncomfortable on the day. For example, a lot of people get stressed when they see a very weird face for the first time, so we were actually told to Google the people, if you know the names, Google their names and see their pictures so that you kind of get used to looking at their face. Also, definitely eat. You don't want to be sitting there and your stomach making such weird noises. That's just not gonna go well. And breathe. Remember to breathe. You might be speaking for so much and not being able to kind of calm down. That will definitely look weird to them. I cannot stress this one enough and I will keep repeating it. Vocalize your thoughts. Yes, some people find it hard to be saying things out loud. That's why you should have had mock interviews, but by this point you probably can't. So just say whatever you're thinking. The interviewer is not a mind reader. He or she cannot guide you if you're not letting them. So say if you're taking a next step for some reason because you realized you made a mistake, or maybe you just found a new formula or a shortcut, tell them. Another one, you will probably be sitting in a waiting room with other applicants. And yes, some people will try to be super nice, some people will just not talk at all, but in the end, you're all competitors, so don't try to compare yourself with each other. Don't try to put another person into panic or panic because someone else is mentioning something you've never heard of. Like, it's just not useful at all. In the end, it's the interviewers who are deciding what kind of people they want. Let them compare you. Nothing good ever comes out of trying to compare yourself in last minute right before coming into the room and realizing, oh wow, they're all so amazing, I'm so going to fail. Okay, this one sounds so cliche, but really calm down. Do whatever it takes. go outside, maybe go for a stroll right before the interview, maybe listen to some music. You need to be at your best, and sometimes adrenaline is definitely not helping you. It might just mess up with your brains and you will suddenly forget everything you've learned for the past couple of years, and you don't want that. So take deep breaths and picture yourself after the interview having a nice meal and chatting with your friends and family and being in a nice place. I've been getting a lot of rejections lately for the internships, and I just like to remind myself that it's not the end of the world. It is literally one company out of hundreds in that one particular country. Yes, it might be my dream company, but there'll definitely be more dream companies. Same goes for universities. The way I like to think about it is it's another learning experience. The more interviews I do, the better I become at them. So you should definitely enjoy it. Smile. Smiling is definitely something that will help you. Okay, probably don't look that scary as that emoji. I think I made it worse. Okay, never mind. Basically, when you smile, it brings another person into a higher mood and they smile back. So it's a good strategy. I'm wishing you all luck. Well done for getting to this stage of the admissions process. You're all stars, and I shall see you in my next vlog when I finally get back to Cambridge vlogs.